Trudy and I bought this house about 4 years ago, and we'd been in love with Italy for 10 years. Found this place. It was kind of funky and broken down, but it seemed like us, sofas outside. This is on the main route from Milan to Rome, so there's a lot of history here. So we have a soft spot for it. And Trudy and I were always looking to buy a little house somewhere, a little cottage, somewhere to go. Never imagined we'd buy this great, enormous place. Very early in the morning, sometimes there's a mist, and these hills look as if they're coming out of the sea. It's like a Japanese painting. And then this time of night, the light over the mountains changes every second. I could just sit and watch it all night. Glory in it.
I guess 4 months ago, maybe, something like that, I got word that Sting was going to use me on the project. How are you, man? Oh, what an honor. Thank you so much, man. Man, how's everything?
That's great. He said to me, Christian wants to know if...
It turns out I was the first guy here, and that was probably a good thing because I'm the new guy, so I don't know the show. Once I got here, I threw my bags in the room and took a break for about an hour, and Sting and I were rehearsing right away.
You know this tune?
Which one?
The Fried Job?
Yeah. You started out with the...
Probably not. Christine McBride reminds me very much of Branford Marsalis in terms of, one, he's a consummate musician, unbelievable musician, incredible memory for tunes and changes and melody. Two, he has a wonderful sense of humor and energy, and if you're lacking in energy yourself, you just look around and you see this wonderful smiling face. It just gives you a great boost. All right. He's playing the bass, which is my gig. At the same time, he's bringing something different to it that I can't do, and allowing me to explore singing solo. And then we have numbers where we play together, where we have to trade. I'm enjoying the hell out of it, and I think he is. Oh, he's a good actor.
Hello. Oh, hi. How are you? Yeah, fine.
Nice to see you. It's been
Yeah. 6 months. Yeah.
One of my anxieties about this whole thing is that, I can have a sort of daydream, a whim. Wouldn't it be nice to do, instead of doing a live concert in a big stadium somewhere, actually just have it in the backyard and invite a few friends over and we film it. It sounds so simple. And then somebody picks the ball up and runs with it, and then before you can say, stop, it's just a whim, it's happening. You have this huge film crew of 100 people. You have to feed them. The whole place is taken over. And so I'm pretty anxious about it. So I thought you'd said Christian McBride was a good bass player. Now you've been like, hey! People who've come here have all been imbued with the spirit of the place and felt they love the place as much as I do, and there's a great deal of respect for the place. And a joy and a happiness that I hope will translate into this film and the concert. It's really about love. It's about relationships. It's about music and joy.
This is them. And the girl?
So I should really bury my anxieties, because this is what I do. I'm living. Hey, you moved into my house.
Yeah, I did.
Cool. How you doing? What's up, dude? BJ, how are you? Good to see you. Who's missing? Somebody missing. Looks great, huh? Did you bring your hair in a bag?
No, because I'd like to wear it. For it.
The band with hair?
Oh my God! It looks very cool.
Kathy!
Let me see it.
This is the most international band I've ever put together. We have people from Brazil, Dominic's from Argentina, we have people from North America, we have people from Algeria, a man who's French, 3 of us are English. Oh, it just feels very right, very cosmopolitan. Lots of different influences. I'm almost kind of shy of live albums. They never seem to capture the size of an event, you know. And so I thought, why don't we do something different? Why don't we make a personal record for people who've seen the show as like a thank you, like an intimate, quiet love letter.
That's a great idea.
I was working as a musician programmer on a film called The Mighty, a Sharon Stone film, and the director knew Sting and brought him in to write the end credit song, which was basically based on a melody that we'd done for the film.
See?
I loved Kipper's energy from the first moment we met.
Didn't have a very good evening. I had 3 really bad ideas in a row.
I just loved his sense of humor. I loved his the spirit. So I said, why don't you come out and visit me in Italy and we'll play. And he was going to stay for 3 days, and he stayed the whole year. He was here the whole time, and his poor wife was complaining, where the hell are you? He was working with me.
But just try doing the changes as we think we should do them now we haven't got the guitar.
We would just jam every evening and just have fun. And during the day, I'd get some ideas for us to start jamming with.
We're just doing it totally kind of percussive, and we're not doing it with any rhythm.
Next morning, we'd then listen to those ideas and then start refining them. So really, it was just kind of, you know, high-tech jamming.
He co-produced that record with me. He's co-producing this one with me, and he's grown in the role. And it's very gratifying to see that, you know, chose him. Not because he was a famous producer at all. He just had an energy, and I recognize that energy as something that I would like to be associated with and use, and it's proved amazingly successful. You know, just singing it now, I feel that the second verse, where we connect with the rhythm, it should be twice as long. The idea for Fragile as a single came from the record company. Came from Martin Kirschenbaum. He was the A&R on this project. I think what you do is nice. Okay. And he said it would be a great single because it was never a hit. And yet it's a song that everybody knows. He said it's almost a standard. You know, if you play it every night, it's one of those songs that people instantly recognize.
That was great. I like that. Upset a lot, Jason. So we'll just get we come off on that I think.
Yeah. You've got to go more rock and roll.
More rock and roll.
So I wasn't quite sure, but I knew we had to do some work and try and reinterpret it. And Kipper brought in a rhythm, a very contemporary rhythmic sample. And we started with that, and we stretched the verse a little bit and stretched the first chorus, and then we went into the song as people recognize it. And then we developed it in terms of harmony, and it transposes into a different key and then goes back, and then it's an interesting development of the song. I think, if anything, it's matured. The song has matured. I mean, I've been doing the same for 15 years, every night.
Gorgeous, Jason.
This process has allowed me to see it as a different animal.
Very, very first chorus in the song, we do that.
Yeah.
And the very, very last chorus.
I like you say that.
Like, thank you. It's my contribution to the project.
The basic crux of the idea was that we'd create something under pressure that if we took the pressure away, we wouldn't get. We've given ourselves a week to rehearse an entirely new show, rearrange songs, deconstruct them and then reconstruct them. Also to make a single that would be a flagship for this project. And that had to be done on the first day, so we had a day to make a single. And I think in the old days, in the 60s, people used to make records in a day. I don't think it's happened since. Your sequence there, does that change with the chords?
No, I have to do a bit of finessing. If we go for it, I can change that.
Decide what that is first.
Yeah.
That evening, we made a video of the song and then sent it off the next day to be cut.
flesh and steel are one, drying in the color of the evening sun. Tomorrow's rain will wash the stains away. Something in our mind will always stay. On and on, the rain will fall. Final act was meant to clinch the lifetime's argument that nothing comes from violence, and nothing ever could. For all us born beneath an angry star, lest we forget how fragile we are. On and on the rain will fall like tears from a star. Steel of one, drying in the color of the evening sun. Tomorrow's rain will wash the stains away. Something in my mind will always stay. On and on the rain will fall like tears from the star, like tears from the star.
It's got an energy that I think comes from the pressure of having to have done it in a very short time.
It's all about pressure as well. It's like, can you handle the pressure? Pressure is one of the biggest drugs of all.
That wasn't me!
Yes, it was you.
That was not me!
Yes, it was. I admit you're wrong.
I wasn't wrong. I was with you.
Play the tape back. I was not with you. No, you were on your own.
I
go to your room in a minute.
I won't accept that.
Do you want to go to your room?
Yeah.
You do want to go to your room?
No.
I've never been in a situation like this where it's this much, pressure involved. You know, you got the film crew, you got the stage, and it's going to be on the internet, and it's going to be a DVD, and we have to get it all done. You know, we have to have the show good and tight in less than 2 weeks with a new bass player.
That's fair.
I can imagine the pressures Sting must feel, but I really commend him for, still, keeping himself, with a really pleasant vibe.
I think it's essential that you have some degree of nervousness, only that, I take my job seriously and I want to
please people, I want to please myself. At the same time, I enjoy that. Once I start singing, I enjoy the hell out. You know, it's like playing a game. It's what I'm supposed to do. I find one of the attractions of living here is the people. People are wonderfully warm, and have always welcomed me as a performer and as a person.
Working in this environment in terms of being in the home is, for me, definitely the way forward, and not worrying about the technicalities of whether there's builders knocking things into wood next door. It's just like, let's make music, and that stuff will become part of the sound of the album. It's like making demos, except you're making records, and we used to say that on Brand New Day all the time. It's like, we're not making a record, we're just doing some demos and we'll see what happens. And then when the demos are finished, the record was finished. I mean, I think as well, it's a perfect environment, this kind of the calmness for someone in Sting's position in his career. I think if you were a 22-year-old rock band, you'd probably want to be in a city and kind of get some of that energy involved in your music. But, you know, this is, you know, Sting's nearly 50 and he's a craftsman, and we're kind of trying to, as Americans say, raise the bar on his kind of ability of writing songs and his kind of creative inspiration.
He's a painter.
Yeah.
It's great.
I did Peter Gabriel in '86 for the So album, and then we went on tour for Amnesty. And on the first Amnesty tour, Sting was performing there with his band, and we met. That's how we met. And he came to me after one gig and he said, "Man, I'd love to work with you." What was I going to say? I mean, I was a big fan of the Police, so I said, "I'd love to." And I have to say, I have a lot of fun playing with him.
Why would you learn something?
The first Sting song I ever heard and remember it was Every Breath You Take from the Synchronicity record. I just started playing bass, and I told Sting when I met him that that's one of my fondest memories, is remembering him playing upright bass in that video. And, you know, when we get up to the studio, I see it was probably the same bass he used in the video. It's killing, man. It's nicely strange that I'm working with Sting all of a sudden.
In 1989 was when I first met Sting. I was actually in the Pretenders at the time, but around that time I didn't know any of his music, so I wasn't a fan either. I mean, I'd heard the Police on the radio, I thought they were really good. But the first tune that I took notice of is Fragile, but I learnt how to play that song in the rehearsal, and I remember saying to him, "Did you write that song? Because I recognise it." And his whole crew fell about laughing, and they hid behind their desks in a fit of giggles, and I thought, okay, well, that's it, I haven't got the job now. 2, 3, we did something weird like that. That's what we did. But, you know, you should try that.
I'd been a fan of Sting's before and loved his music, but I remember driving in Woodstock, New York, down this long road, and When We Dance came on the radio, and I just pulled the car over on the side and just sat there and listened to that. It is such a beautiful song. It's like one of my favorite Sting songs, and actually the way they do it tonight is just perfect, with the spareness of it and everything taken out of it. You can really hear that melody.
We had this big industrial building across the way where they dried the olives and they made the wine and they dried the grain. And we built a studio on the top floor. It was a big empty room, really. Put my portable studio in there and started working and just messing around and making music and bringing a friend over to play with me, or Dominic or Kipper. So I wanted to recreate that feeling when I was a kid, you know, that I made music because I liked the sound of it, because it was fun. A lot of kids are brought up with dad doing this mysterious thing in the city, you know, somewhere else. I like to work at home. So if I can be creative at home, that's the best situation for me. But, you know, it's important what they say and what they believe about what I do. And they also see me doing something I love. And that hopefully explains to them why I'm away so much when I do tour, because I spend a long time at sea.
Well, there can't be nothing worse than a perfect
best songs ever written are about love. But I think love is an important thing to write about, particularly in my position and at my time of life. The experience I've had as a man, as a boy, are all there, and that's what I want to talk about.
You remember me when the whistle moves upon the fields of body. You forget the sun in his jealous sky as we walk in fused glory.
Songs have to be simple. They can have a subtext which you can find, but you shouldn't be singing about an issue. You shouldn't be saying, you know, down with this or down with that. That's just journalism. Art is something else, something veiled, you know. And I often feel that songwriting is something like putting yourself into a state of receptivity, or, you know, to be more cosmic about a state of grace where the song can reveal itself to you. And I think you're lucky if you can be in a beautiful place, because, you know, nature is full of stories. It's full of images, powerful, healing images.
Oh, she walks every day through the streets of New Orleans. She's innocent and young,
right,
from a family of means.
It's not like you have a huge canvas to paint on, or you know, novel length to fill. You know, you've got to tell the story in 2 verses, a bridge, and a coda. That takes some skill to, you know. It's stories in miniature, and I like that. Sometimes you have to tell a huge amount of information in one line.
Though I tried before to tell her of the feelings I have for her in my heart. Every time that I come near her, I just lose my nerve as I've done from the start. And every little thing she does is magic. Everything she do just turn me on. Beginning of my life before was tragic. Now my love for her goes on. Do I have to tell a story of 1,000 rainy days since we first met? It's a big enough umbrella, but it's always me that ends up getting wet. And every little thing she does is magic. Everything she do just turn me on. None of my life before was tragic. None of my love for her goes on. Every little thing she does is magic. Everything she do just turn me on. None of my life before was tragic. None of my love for her goes on. I resolve to call her up 1,000 times a day and ask her if she'll marry me in some old-fashioned way. With my silent fuse of me, long before I reach the phone, long before my tongue has tripped me, must I always be alone?
I don't know how intentional any of it is. I mean, there's an instinct that you have about songwriting and what seems to be correct and what seems to be wrong, and you follow that instinct. So songwriting is a kind of therapy for both the songwriter and the listener, if you choose to use it that way.
I know that the spades are the stars of a soldier. I know that the clubs are weapons of war. I know that diamonds need money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart.
When you see that stuff help other people, it's a great, wonderful confirmation that you're doing the right thing. And that's what music is for, to help people.
Just on the front of the bar. It's one thing to have been touring for 2 years and then to do a show with the same musicians. It's quite another to bring new elements into the band, which completely alters the chemistry and the equation. And that's really what I wanted. I didn't want people to be too sure about what they were doing. They had to accommodate other people. They had to compromise. They had to move this way and move that way to create something new. And I think we've done a lot of that. I'm very happy with the way it's going. The musicians who came in were exceptional, as are the core musicians. And we'll see. It's too late to worry. Far too late.
I really thought that was going to work, I swear to you.
To keep the band's energy up, you're forced to sing many times, sometimes 6-7 hours a day. So at the beginning of the week I was doing that. And now I'm asking the other singers to do what I do. It helps me rest my voice, because I've got a big show tomorrow. And 2, it helps me listen.
I was very eager to rehearse, because if there's one thing I hate more than anything else is coming to play somebody's gig unprepared.
Rehearsal is one of the most difficult things that you do.
Poor man is trying to play this cello.
Oh, okay.
You sound like cats.
I thought it was solo in the place. Yep.
Same place. 1, 2, 3, 4. Music has never really worked for me, although it's hard work. You know, I work very hard, but I love what I do, so I don't begrudge doing it, ever. Well, it's an interesting time in my life to be making this project. It's you know, I'll be 50 in a month's time, and it's a time of reflection for me, looking back on my life and say, well, what have we got here? And to revisit songs and reinterpret them, breathe new life into them, is a kind of rejuvenating thing for both the songs and myself. You know, it's kind of, yeah, I think they're good songs, and I want to see them have as long a life as they possibly can, because it's my life. You know, I'm rejuvenating myself through this process.
So just stay in time, but Manu just stops doing the groove, and let's not make it so.
One of the foundations of this whole record is to try and make everything sound a little different. My first musical memory was my mother playing tangos and watching her feet on the pedals move very kind of strangely. Not in time with the music, because you know, soft and loud isn't nothing to do with the music. It's just some mechanical thing. Never quite figure out what she was doing. Eventually, I did. That's my first memory, tango. I find that fascinating. That the song maintains its integrity, no matter what style you put it in. You know, and basically, it's just having fun with it. It's just saying, okay, well, let's just twist this up a little bit and see how quickly people recognize it. And is there a sort of moment where they go, ah, that's what the song is? I mean, I personally find that satisfying. Some people might think it's horrific. Say, oh God, you ruined my favorite song. Well, that isn't the intention. The intention is to find something new, find something fresh flavor. I owe a great deal to that girl. She's been very good to me. So it's a very interesting process to play a song that you've played for two years almost and know it inside out, and then suddenly change something
and a whole new song appears.
Sometimes you have to go back the old way, you know, and I hopefully the event and the place itself will create something new in it. I don't want to force the issue. I think if something happens naturally, organically, and it's a different arrangement, then that's fine. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to force it.
I suggest we just let this number evolve day by day.
It's a bit like being on the end of a diving board. You know, you can't really step down because everybody's watching. So I'm going to dive. God rewards the risk taker.
1, 2, 3. Stand up, all you lovers in the world.
That's one of the real reasons why I like working with them, and I'm always excited to come on board because I know it's going to be different every single time.
I mean, this project really has been like a cooking lesson in a way, in that it's putting other things in and taking other things out to get something different. You know that the basic product is going to be the same. It's a song. You're going to be telling the same story, but with a different base, a slightly different taste. Shop is closed. Sorry, no more. No more. Where is it? We're closing for the night. I'm sorry. No more service. Good night. Well, it's going pretty well. There's about 100 people here. Carpenters, technicians, musicians. It's going far better than I thought at this point. I'm really excited. I think I should have told Trudy. She only went away for the weekend.
She doesn't know about this?
No.
Wow. I don't know, man. If I don't know. I've never been married, but I think you should have mentioned something about that. You think she'll be upset?
No.
Well, I happen to believe that, you know, we do live in a timeless state, or we ought to be aware of that. I mean, I've never really subscribed to the idea of reincarnation logically or intellectually. But as a poetic idea, I find it very appealing that you will come back, or part of you will come back, and you will be rewarded or punished for whatever you've done in this life. That may be complete nonsense, but to live that way will do you no harm at all. So if you live your life thinking, well, I'd like to come back as a higher being or someone better than myself at this moment, then I have to work for that. If I'm a bad guy, then, you know, you become a cockroach or something. No offense to cockroaches, I'm sure they have wonderful lives too, but I like, as a poetic idea, I like that. And the idea that what would sustain you through many lifetimes would be love. Love for one person, one thing. It's a romantic notion.
Want to dance?
I was never shy about singing for some reason. Shy about everything else, but not singing.
I can listen to the band playing and then fix things that I think are wrong. Far easier if I'm not singing. It's kind of difficult not to sing though, because I love singing. When the band's playing well, I want to sing. And so it's a discipline not to do it. Also, I find it difficult to play the bass without singing, because the memory of what notes to play is directly linked to what I'm singing.
I can't play the bass and not sing. It's weird. Right. That's how I remember the tunes.
We were playing some song at rehearsal. He was showing me the bass part, and he kept messing it up. And he's like, "Man, you know, I'm so used to singing when I play. It's hard to only do one." So I found that very interesting. So it definitely is an extension of what he does musically. When we play She's Too Good For Me, that's really a lot of fun because it gets very bass heavy. We're both like walking, you know, lines going all across each other, and it's just a lot of fun.
All this time. Remember the riff? I don't. I can't get no. All this time is really the story about my hometown and my father, the death of my father. Although it's not biographical. It certainly contains elements of that. Well, let's not change anything now. Let's just get this right, because no one's been playing it. So let's do the chorus before. 1, 2. All this time. It's funny. I sing that song every night, and my father's with me on stage every night, and my mother a different song. So my parents are with me when I sing. It's very interesting. And a lot of the time, I can't really allow myself to get too far into that. Otherwise, I can't sing. Because you go on this path of emotion, and all this stuff comes up, and you simply can't physically sing. So I touch on it, and I greet them, but I don't go there. I think the words are enough. The words and the tune carry the emotion. I don't need to get too involved. It happened very spontaneously with all this time, in that we just sat down and I started to play it, and I said, let's put some kind of bluesy inversions in the chords, and don't do it so straight. And this thing just happened. It wasn't anybody's idea. We just started to play it that way, and everybody turned around and smiled. And you can tell when an idea works, because it's kind of an electric shock that goes around the whole band. Everybody stands up and plays better, and it's maintained that energy all through rehearsals, the song, and it's something I look forward to doing every time.
I love the fact that I can come here and put on 20 pounds instantly. I know a lot of people nowadays trying to be health conscious and trying to watch what they eat, but forget it. I come to Italy, I'm gonna put some pounds on and be happy about it.
Everybody's been lovely. Everyone's responded to the spirit of the place and realized it's a family home, and we all eat together. That's a very nice thing. Everybody's very, very supportive, and I feel that. I'd be happy to get my house back next week. And it's just me, But it's been a very wonderful few days, and I hope that comes across on the TV show and the record.
So I think we'll do that in the show, but I think we'll record it the way we do it in the hall. One of my favorite locations in this beautiful house is the hall, under the stairs. It's a little hallway. I sit and play the guitar there in the morning. The first thing I do in the morning, I get up and I play a bit of Bach. Just warm up with a quick melody. The sound of the guitar, it drifts up the house, and people go, oh, I thought it was a record. It's such a beautiful sound, you can just play all day. It's all about sound. If it sounds good, it's totally compelling. And I thought it'd be great to have like an acoustic session every day in there with these musicians. So I brought them in one by one, me and Dominic first of all, and then tentatively brought other people in. And some of the best music we've made has been in that hall.
I stone's throw from Jerusalem. I walked a lonely mile in the moonlight. Though a million stars were shining, my heart was lost on a distant planet. It whirls around the April moon, whirling in an arc of sadness. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. All my kingdoms turn to sand and fall into the sea. I'm mad about you. I'm mad about you. I'm mad about you. I'm mad about you.
We've recorded some of those songs, and I hope people appreciate that.
You see how that room is. It's such a majestic sound that you get in there. It's majestic, yet still very sensitive.
So when are you coming in with that?
I guess I'm coming in right when the vocal starts.
Yeah.
To play songs like Mad About You and Desert Rose and those type of songs, songs that we were doing without the drum kit and without the keyboards, it just has this very natural, just very earthy vibe in there.
The room where we're doing the hallway sessions is at the back of the house, and you walk into the left and you've got this fantastic dome ceiling, and it's kind of like a foyer entrance hall, and it's got this fantastic statue at the back, and it just has a different feeling to the rest of the house. You've got the sound of the fountain trickling outside, and it just completely calms you.
I mean, I think we should definitely record this in the house, not here.
There's something about that room.
Yeah, there's something about the room is fantastic. Same with Man About You.
So the whole thing wouldn't be from the one.
Yeah.
Good idea.
That happened randomly, that whole hallway idea. Sting and I were waiting for the technicians to set up, and we were just sitting there playing, because he practices there a lot, and I do sometimes as well when I'm staying here. And it ended up us trying to work out a song before we go to the rehearsal. And then Mark was there, and he started playing whatever piece of percussion was in there. And then Jack happened to have his cello nearby, so we just turned it into a spontaneous jam, which is featured quite strongly in this project we're working on now.
Okay, we're ready to go. When you want to go? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Young teacher, the subject of schoolgirl fantasy. She wants him so badly, knows what she wants to be. Inside her, there's longing. This girl's an open page. Look knocking, you're so close now. This girl is half his age. Don't stand so close to me. Don't stand so close to me. If he loved you.
Well, I mean, both songs were written on the guitar. One in 1978 or something, and the other one in the 90s. It was just me sort of doodling on a guitar and finding a riff, and then just having a story told to me and then retelling it. I don't know how connected they are in terms of the story, but they do cast a shadow on each other. One is about a love between a teacher and a pupil. Totally unbiographical, by the way. I just imagined it. The other is between a man and a married woman who's married to someone else. That triangle interests me. I think love songs are only so interesting. You know, I love you and you love me is pretty two-dimensional. It's two-dimensional. I love you, but you belong to somebody else. It's very interesting. Or, you know, I love you and you love somebody else is even more interesting. So I like that triangle. And both songs together cast a kind of shadow over each other. Interesting refraction of emotions. But there's a melancholy about both songs. I don't know why. I think I'm good at expressing melancholy vocally for some reason.
On a personal level, just to play these songs is a lot of fun, but to play these songs in a live performance and watch the people react to it, that's going to be something really special.
Modesty, propriety, the least unknown notoriety, and you could end up as the only one. Gentleness, sobriety, so rare in the society. At night a candle's brighter than the sun. More than a license for a gun. Confront your enemies, avoid them when you can. A gentleman will walk but never run. the man who someone said he's the hero of the day. It takes a man to suffer ignorance and smile. Be yourself, no matter what they say. Be yourself, no matter what they say. Come on, be yourself, no matter what they say. Be yourself, no matter. Be yourself, no matter what they say. Oh, I'm an alien, I'm a legal alien, I'm an Englishman in New York. Whoa, I'm an alien, I'm a legal alien, I'm an Englishman in New York. Whoa, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm an Englishman in New
We've got a show to do tomorrow in front of millions of people who are going to see it, and the record and everything, and it really isn't ready.
Let's just take it from before the solo, the half before the solo.
I personally think we've rehearsed enough. We know it.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
At the same time, I don't want to rehearse spontaneity out of the show. So there will be a certain amount of tightrope walking without a net. I think that's essential. People should go on the stage feeling, okay, we've really got to make this work. It's not cast iron, it's not watertight. I don't want it to be watertight. I want it to be a little risky. And just enjoy it. I mean, that's the thing. We know what we're doing. We should just have a good time.
That's it. It's just D to G.
I mean, what will make it great, really, is really what we're doing now, is preparation. Preparation is absolutely what it's all about. You cannot over-rehearse this stuff.
Sometimes, you know, the road takes its toll, you know, and sometimes you got to just kind of wise up and just cut out before you die, you know.
What's very gratifying for me as a band leader is that I don't have to drag people through the whole process, almost against their will. I will do a rehearsal and I say, okay, have a rest now. They all go and do their own work on the project, alone or in groups. You know, the horn section decides that they need to rehearse on their own.
That's all for the horn rehearsal, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you tomorrow in the sound check.
Kipper decides to do something. That's very gratifying for me because I think all the time. I don't stop thinking. I can't even sleep for thinking. So when I'm helped this way by this enthusiasm and this spirit of, you know, it's our thing as just as much as yours, I think it's wonderful. Because it'd be impossible otherwise.
He'll catch one, guys.
He will. Yeah. I really.
Well, he hates it. Yeah.
I couldn't have done this work for 20 years, almost being permanently on the road, in any other way. In other words, I'm supported by the people I work with, and I feel as if when I walk out on there, they're right behind me every night. They actually like me, and I love them. You know, and it's without that connection, I would be very isolated, very lonely, and miserable. And so it's essential that I have a sense of family around me, because they are my family. You know, I have a beautiful wife and beautiful children, but I can't take them with me everywhere. Impossible. But I have this secondary family which I've adopted over 20 odd years, you know, and the best people stayed.
He's got two percussionists. He's got Jason playing the acoustic piano and Kipper playing the keyboards, and Jeff playing the organ, electric bass and acoustic bass and guitar. He has all these elements going on at the same time, and it's working, and it's very soft, and you know, it's very sensitive, and that was probably the most surprising thing, because on some nights my band is way louder than this, and there's only 4 guys. And it made me think to myself, like, I better rethink some things when I go home.
Well, the more people that you have working on stage, the harder it becomes. That's for sure. And I mean, for instance, we have 3 people playing percussion now, and they have different approaches to the actual tempo. Forget the groove, they have a different tempo, which is a disaster sometimes.
Yeah, I quite like it then.
But the tempo is not different.
Je ne sais pas.
No, yesterday it's more. Well, it's early, just right on the yeah.
It's my job as a band leader to give everyone the spotlight. And the better they look in the spotlight, the better I look. So I have no fear at all about standing aside and letting somebody shine, because it's my band. So I take credit for this.
It's interesting that Sting is one of these artists that, you know, to his credit, it's very similar to what I've read about the way Miles Davis had bands, you know, and he would get really, really good players and then just kind of turn them loose to be individuals. And so the way the songs kind of evolve is they just kind of through osmosis almost, and it's his ability to like not be threatened and to keep reaching out to musicians for different flavors, which makes the songs kind of blossom in different ways.
Set them free 3 times.
Oh.
Set them free 5 times. Yeah. Set them free once, twice. Set them free. Thank you. Good night.
That's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Mobile station where I stand, this old gas phone is in my head. The boss don't like me, got a face like a weasel. There's oil on my hand, and the smell of diesel. Here come a big shot from the city, V8 engine. She runs so pretty. Fill her up, son, on lady. I need a full tank of gas where I'm headed. Now up in the front seat, a pretty redhead. We're going to Vegas, oh, we're gonna get wet. Fill her up, son, and don't be staring. Yeah, that's a real diamond she'll be wearing. Oh, I wanna take my baby one day. I wanna fill her up and head west.
I can't understand Sting's fascination for country music.
You know, I'm not a country musician. I respect country music greatly. I think it's a very simple way of telling a story. But there's a kind of irony in me doing it. It's always kind of humorous, you know, because it's not expected of me.
Okay, he puts a twist in it. A good example of that would be I'm So Happy I Can't Stop Crying.
I'm so happy that I can't stop crying. I'm laughing through my tears.
What's clever about that song is that we're dealing with a very, very serious subject, which is divorce.
Can't stop crying.
He's putting it to this kind of country setting, which is completely ridiculous, and that's really the twist.
Yes, I've been divorced, and if there's been one failure in my life, it was the failure of my first marriage. I think a lot of people relate to that song, you know, especially when you have children. So there's a kind of catharsis involved in writing about an issue like that. Yes, I know that mood very well. Belly dancing, although it's a very sensual, very sexual dance, it's actually traditionally takes place at weddings. And the dancer comes and she instructs the young wife how to please her man. So I find it very, very nice. And it's all part of life's rich tapestry. Yeah, the girl can get excited too, but you know, it's a happy occasion.
Dream of fire,
Sting is, in the last couple of years, I think has got very interested in Arabic music, hence the Desert Rose and Cheb Mabi's involvement. And I think it's a really good musical influence to bring into his world, which hasn't really happened before, and we all like it. I love Arabic music.
Desert Rose began as just a jam, and I was playing with the guitar, and I started to play in this kind of oriental mode. That's a joke, really, because I know the mode, but I would never seriously play this music. I'm from England. I started playing with it, and thought, okay, we'll put another chord in there, let's develop it this way, and we finished. What you can do with that? I don't know, it's fun. I went back to it and I wrote this kind of arabesque song about rain in the desert and longing for things to be more fertile and love and all of this stuff. But also there's a Sufi idea that romantic love is really just an analog for more philosophical longing, that the love of a woman is actually the love of God. I like that idea. So I finished the song and I listened to it back, but it lacked an authentic voice, really. It was just me playing a role, So I went back to Paris and I made some inquiries, and the biggest star in rhyme music in France, in the world, is Cheb Mami. And I played him the song. He says, "Oh, it sounds very Arabic." I said, "Well, thank you." I said, "Would you write some lyrics for this counter melody?" He said, "Sure." I said, "Well, come down to Italy next week and we'll record something." So he came down here and he started to sing. And it sounded beautiful. Incredible voice, and was kind of woven in between mine. And I said, "Well, what are you singing about?" He said, "Well, I'm singing about longing." So the music was telling us the same thing. It was telling us this longing for something. May have been a total coincidence. There may be something in it. I don't know. But what it sounds like is that he begins the song, and then I sort of translate what he's saying in a sort of way. It's not really, but it seems that way, and he weaves in and out. So it's the first duet between a Western singer and an Arab singer, as far as I know. Everybody loved this song, and then we took it to the record company. They said, "Yeah, we love this song, but we're not sure we can get on the radio." I said, "Well, why?" He says, "Well, there's an Arab guy singing on the front." It became a hit from the back door, from it being a club thing, a club mix, and then this TV ad. But in a way, it was good that it happened this way, because Brand New Day came out, and it did reasonably well. The album did reasonably well, and then Desert Rose came in behind it. And it was in the charts for 100 weeks. It's still there.
Monsieur Abdel Nasser on Darbuka, please take a bow, from Algeria. And one of the greatest singers in the world today, Mr. Cheb Mami.
Thank you.
طويلة وين الحب والسنة وحده
boy?
Well, we got through the first night and the dress rehearsal with the business people and the local dignitaries, and it went well. And it was a dress rehearsal that was very good. And we're sort of basking in that success and having lunch together, and we've all had a fantastic week, beautiful time, all of us. And suddenly this news came into the thing that some planes had crashed into the Twin Towers, and it just seemed so unlikely, and I couldn't believe it. And then we watched the TV, and there was these devastating images of madness. The world had just suddenly gone crazy. Your most apocalyptic nightmare come to pass, and we were all in shock. I think as everyone in the world was. So, and then we had to think, well, hang on, we were supposed to do a show tonight. Suddenly this global nightmare enters the garden. Okay, everybody, let's sit down and speak our minds here. Okay, well, what was to be a joyous occasion now simply can't be. Anybody says to me, this thing I can't play, I'll say, you're right, I'm not even sure I can sing. The world has changed in the past 2 hours,
Do you don't think there's the positive, display of hope and playing music? Not, I'm not saying the whole show, but maybe you alter the show a little bit, but still play music, because for me it's just more devastating to just the emptiness of like everyone coming together and just going, and nothing happening.
How does everybody else feel about that?
I can't see doing a whole show. I think that's totally out. I think at best maybe pick some certain songs to do, but certain songs I just can't see doing, man.
I definitely think we should play Fragile. And I think there's a strong case for picking out some songs that we all agree would be appropriate.
By looking at the songs and making careful selections of an amount of material that you're going to communicate a message that's kind of a message of hope, but a message of respect.
I really want to hear a consensus here, because Jeff, what do you feel?
I think we should play, but we should pick what's appropriate. And just
well, I think if you don't play something, it's going to feel like another bombing.
I mean, this is a big moment for the people coming here, and going back to Chris's point, is we don't want it to be another bombing here.
Nami, do you want to say something?
Moi, je pense que par solidarité à ceux qui sont morts aujourd'hui, il y a quand même des gens qui pleurent leurs morts. C'est très dur de faire la musique. Parce que nous, on fait la musique avec le cœur, alors s'il y a des gens qui sont morts, c'est très dur.
All I want to do is play. I think we should play. Because sitting around sucks.
You guys know I'm really freaked out by this, but I need to sing something. As tired as I am, as freaked out as I am, as hoarse as I am, I need to sing something because I need to get this out. I also don't like the feeling of letting them win. Because when they do this, they stop everybody from living. And I think somebody has to say no. You can't stop us.
You have to sing them, so, I'm not sure you can.
But you know what? I don't think it really matters whether you can sing them or not. To me, it's about the effort. It's about the statement. It's not about the perfection, because there is no perfection.
It's thinking about the other people, because this is a time when that's the sort of things we should be doing, is actions that are for others. So, I think that doing the Fragile song, because we're doing it as a positive statement for the people that have died, but then also for the show, I think we have to see what the people who come want.
You know, 1,000 years you could do. Love you can't do. All this time, I do not want to sing that. No. We should tell people that there's going to be one song, and that then we're shutting it down as a mark of respect for those who've lost their lives.
That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Like
You
Fragile.
mean for the whole night?
For the whole night.
For the whole
yeah.
night.
Instead of trying to, because once we start playing, we're going to want to do the whole set anyway. You know.
Listen, we're committed to doing Fragile, and we'll do it, and then we'll come off, and then we'll figure out what it is, and then
Make a decision.
we'll decide.
Yeah.
You
Good
made us
plan.
want to play.